It had been 8 years since Ohio State lost to Michigan in Columbus, and heading into the 105th matchup between the two teams, the Buckeyes stood to win a fifth straight off the Wolverines for the first time in the rivalry's history. Such a win would make Jim Tressel the first OSU coach ever to win 7 of 8 games against Michigan, but to do so he'd have to break one of the following deadlocks. The series between Ohio State and Michigan in the last 11 games, 5-5-1. In the last 42 games at Ohio Stadium, 21-21. And since 1934, these programs are 35, 35, and 4 against one another. To a packed shoe. 7.5 million fans have seen this matchup through the years. This is the rivalry's 41st sold-out game in a row, and here they are arguing over who wears the gold pants in the relationship. OSU's first 3 possessions ended in 2 3-and-outs and an interception. 4th time's the charm, though. This possession would end in Beanie Wells' 3rd career 50-plus yard touchdown run against the Wolverines. 59 yards, OSU's longest play from scrimmage all year, gives Beanie his second 1,000-yard season in as many years and puts his team up 7-0. Quarter of the second, the only empty box on Big Ten Freshman of the Year Terrell Pryor's season checklist is a stunningly gorgeous, teardrop-inducing deep ball check. Brian Hartline, his 5th catch of 40 or more yards on the season. Now, the Buckeye defense forced 12 punts and 10 3-and-outs on the day, but this was not one of them. Brandon Minor breaks loose for 32 of the Wolverines' 198 offensive yards down to the 1. After 3 big stops, Michigan head coach Rich Rodriguez says, "Dang it, my team scored on 19 of 21 red zone trips this season. Go for it on 4th and goal." And Brandon, with an all-but-Minor touchdown, pushed Rich Rod within sight of being the 10th of 13 Michigan coaches to win their debut against OSU 14-7 at the midway point. Like following a birdie with a bogey, a Michigan punt pins the Bucks inside their 10, but then the defense concedes the whole, pun intended, to Beanie Wells. This season, Beanie has moved past Calvin Murray, Raymond Harris, Antonio Pittman, Michael Wiley, Carlos Snow, Pivy Pearson, and finally Keith Byers, the 4th on Ohio State's all-time rushing list with 3,276 yards, 42 of which would set up Boom Herron on the very next play. Through the B-gap to the gap in the secondary, Beanie told Boom before kickoff, "This is a game where you can make a name for yourself," and in averaging 10 yards a carry with this 49-yard TD, he did just that. The 91-yard drive, the longest of OSU's season, and it took all of 2 plays and 39 seconds. Now, Michigan led the nation in net punting yards coming in, but Ray Small from Glenville High School doesn't give a hoot. Boy, he runs quickly. 81 yards to the Michigan 10. Coach Tressel called it the turning point in the game because the very next play, senior Wolverine defensive end Tim Jamison said, "We need to keep Pryor from running the ball." With 120 yards passing, Pryor's fine with the alternative, and so is Brian Rubisky. The touchdown makes it 35 straight games with a catch for the senior and moves him into 8th in all-time OSU receptions. OSU's all-time leader in national title games led to, in 2007, Todd Beckman. On senior day, 3 for 3, 54 yards, and one beauty of a touchdown pass. So nice to see that. His replacement, Pryor, becomes the first freshman quarterback to ever beat Michigan, and in leading his team to its 4th 40-plus point game of the year, he helps the 23rd senior class of Coach Tressel's career get its 43rd win. That ties them for first among all-time Ohio State classes. The Buckeyes held the Wolverines scoreless in all but the second quarter, and the 42-7 final is the largest Ohio State margin of victory over Michigan since 1968, when Woody Hayes famously went for 2 because he couldn't go for 3. Rodriguez said after the game he would look back on this season's team as laying the foundation for the future. Unfortunately for him, Beanie Wells, whose 134-yard performance was his 16th career 100-pluser, is only a junior and thus a factor in that future.